Welcome back to Legion Builds, and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. For today's episode, as we feed the evil corporations of greeting cards and chocolate, we are diving into the View Askewniverse for a double feature. That's right, 2 characters, 1 video. Those characters, life mates Jay and Silent Bob, the 2 miscreants from New Jersey that always stand together through strange and wild adventures. Whether that is crossing the country, harassing storekeepers, or battling demons and rogue angels, which actually sounds like a D&D party, so let's get started. First up, Jason Darris, aka Jay. Jay's not the brightest man around, and that's an understatement. More often than not, he has poor impulse control, is impatient, thinks rarely before he talks, and just makes bad choices. He is also immensely loyal and willing to put himself in harm's way to protect those he loves. So he's a dummy, but his heart's always in the right place. Goals today will be simple. Firstly, even with all your faults, people like you and trust you, even when you start randomly singing and dancing, sometimes inappropriately. Next, even though Silent Bob is the brains, you have your own set of skills to call upon. You're a stealthy bastard that has gotten the drop on many mall security guards, or held your own against costume actors or demons. Finally, you're a talker. You talk a lot, and that's not compared to Silent Bob. You never stop talking. Okay, that one is actually not on me, that's on you, that's all role-playing, have fun with that. But I needed 3 goals, so it's there. We're using standard point array, and we are not multi-classing, so this will be pretty easy. Dex will be first at 15. You know how to handle a lightsaber, and somehow you got past several guards looking in your direction to ambush LaFleur's. That's all Dex. Charisma will be next with a 14. Like I said, you have limited good qualities, but people like you. Con is next at 13. You're in relatively good shape. Strength will follow at a 12 with the same notion as Con. Wisdom will be 10. You do have poor impulse control and don't know when to stop talking, but your heart is in the right place, so you can make good choices. Finally, we'll dump intelligence because, well, you know. Jay is a human, but that's boring. Custom lineage lets you design your own race. I actually just want the +2. So put that into charisma. For your feat, mobile increases your movement by 10, dashing now isn't hindered by difficult terrain, and after attacking a creature, you don't provoke an attack of opportunity regardless of if you hit. For your free skill, take performance. You actually don't know how to sing or dance, but you can perfectly imitate any dance you've ever seen or song you've ever heard. For your background skills, we just need persuasion and intimidation. You have a rough job. Before we go any further, I would like to say getting a nat 20 on persuasion is not an automatic success. A person will not do something that is against their own character. It does mean that they will not hurt you too much for being an idiot. Probably why so many people don't kick your ass regularly. Jay's profession and attitude to life says one class to me: Paladin. Okay, that was a bad joke. I'm not actually funny. Jay is a rogue. For your skills, take stealth, deception, sleight of hand, and athletics. Level 1 rogues get expertise. Choosing 2 skills or 1 skills and your thieves tools, you can now add double proficiency to those skills. Take stealth and sleight of hand. Sneak attack is a special bonus damage you add to finesse or ranged weapon attacks when you have advantage or are within 5 feet of an ally. This starts at 1d6, but will get better as we go. Finally, you get thieves can't, which is just a special coded language of gesture words, symbols that may never come up in your game and may be different if your DM decides. Not important. Level 2 rogues learn cutting action. This turns dash, disengage, and hide into bonus actions. Level 3 rogues receive steady aim. With a bonus action, you can give yourself advantage on your next attack if you do not move that turn and don't move next turn. You also receive your subclass. I went over all rogue subclasses trying to figure this out, but there's only one that just feels like it gives you all the qualities of Jay without adding magic or special powers: Thief. Fast Hands adds more cunning action options. Now using Thieves' Tools, sleight of hand checks, and use objects are bonus actions. but none of that's going to come up in combat, so don't worry about that. Second story work makes climbing cost no extra movement, and when you make a running long jump, you can add your dex modifier to the feet you jump. Your sneak attack is now 2d6. Level 4 rogues get our first ability score improvement, and there's gonna be a lot of them. Let's divide this one up between +1 con and +1 dex. Level 5 rogues get Uncanny Dodge. Now when you see what causes you damage, you can use your reaction to halve the damage. Your sneak attack is now 3d6. Level 6 rogues learn more expertise. Let's put this into athletics and your thieves tools. Level 7 rogues get evasion. Now when you make a dex save, you can take no damage for success and half on a failure. Your sneak attack is now 4d6. Level 8 rogues get another ability score improvement, and let's give you a feat. Skulker improves your stealth capabilities. You can now try to hide even when you're lightly obscured. Missing a ranged attack doesn't reveal your position, and dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on perception checks. Level 9 Thief rogues gain Supreme Sneak. You now have advantage on stealth checks if you're moving half your speed. Your sneak attack is now 5d6. Level 10 rogues get another ability score improvement. Put this into charisma. Level 11 rogues receive reliable talent. You can now never roll lower than a 10 on your skill checks. Your sneak attack is now 6d6. Level 12 rogues get another ability score improvement. Let's take a feat. Lucky grants you 3 luck points you can spend between long rest. By spending these luck points, you can add a d20 to an attack, saving throw, or skill check. You can also spend a point to give another d20 to your opponent's attack against you, and you get to pick the lowest of the two. Now this does not give advantage or disadvantage, just adds a luck dice to the roll. Level 13 Thief rogues gain Use Magic Device. You can now ignore all class, race, and level requirements for magical items. Your sneak attack is now 7d6. Level 14 rogues receive Blind Sense. Now, as long as you can hear, you know the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of you. Level 15 rogues get Slippery Mind. You are now proficient in wisdom saves. Your sneak attack is now 8d6. Level 16 rogues gain another ability score improvement. Let's bump up dex. Level 17 Thief rogues receive Thief Reflexes. You now get 2 turns the first round of combat. Your second turn is just -10 from your initiative. Your sneak attack is now 9d6. Level 18 rogues gain Elusive. Attacks can never have advantage against you while you're not incapacitated. Level 19 rogues receive our final ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Your sneak attack is now maxed out at 10d6. Our final level is level 20 rogue. You gain Stroke of Luck. Once per short or long rest, you can automatically turn a miss into a hit or turn a failed skill check into a 20. Let's dive in and look at this build. You're a sneaky bastard. Your stealth rolls are adding +17 before you roll, and at their lowest is 27. You don't reveal yourself by missing shots, and you can hide incredibly easily no matter where you are. You're also incredibly hard to catch or get the drop on. You have a movement of 40 feet, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity, you know where hidden creatures are, first round you get 2 turns, can reduce damage, and you can't have advantage against you. Finally, you're not half bad in a fight, dealing 10d6 sneak attack damage, adding 5+ to the damage with a ranged or finesse weapon. You also can turn misses into hits with Lucky or your Stroke of Luck ability. Downside: firstly, you do no magical damage. You're not getting past resistances at all. Your soft stats will wreck you in saves. Your intelligence save is a +5, charisma +4, and wisdom is a +6. For that matter, your hard stats are not good at saves either, with your dex being best at a +11. But your soft stats are what spells are going to go after most of the time. You can at least try to talk your way out of getting beaten up, but running works better. Move quickly and quietly, trust in your skills and in your partner. And now, let's talk about your partner. Robert Blonsky, aka Silent Bob. While Jay is both a talker and not smart, Silent Bob is the opposite, highly intelligent and rarely speaks. He is shown to have a creative mind capable of building wonderful gadgets with a wide range of information at his disposal. He's also incredibly caring towards his friends and others, but all this also leads him to be the victim of Jay's follies, though he is generally the one who can get them out of sticky situations the quickest. Our first goal for this build is to grant you a wide assortment of gear and gadgets to assist you in your many adventures. Next, while you rarely talk, when you choose to, people stand in attention. You do this to either weave a beautiful sentiment to inspire others, distract enemies, show your vast knowledge, or scream at Jay for being clown shoes. Finally, you will always have the right tool for the job. Even if it makes no sense for you to have it, you just have it. As with before, we're using standard point array because I don't want to roll for you. We're also multi-classing here, so keep minimums in mind if you use point buy or roll for stats. Charisma will be a 15. People really like you, and when you do talk, you can be one motivational bastard. Intelligence is next with 14, as you've always been smarter than everyone else. Wisdom will be a 13, you have good impulse control and notice details, but you do tend to get caught up in things when Jay is around. Con will be 12, you've gotten yourself into good shape and will be making that better for you to turn you from lunchbox to snack pack. Dex will be 10, you can move when you really want to, and will dump strength as it's not important for this build. Like Jay, you're a human, but for this build, we'll keep you that. Variant Human gives you +1 to 2 stats. Place this into Intelligence and Charisma. For your feat, Skill Expert adds +1 to Intelligence, grants you a skill, and gives you expertise in that skill, doubling your proficiency bonus. For this, we'll take Arcana, as it's basically the tech of the D&D verse. For your free skill, take Performance, because like Jay, you dance a lot. For your background, let's grab History and Investigation. We're going to start things off with Tech Wizard, aka Artificer. For your skills, take Medicine and Perception. Level 1 Artificers gain Magical Tinkering. You can touch a small, non-magical object and imbue it with a magical effect, such as emitting light, a sound, smell, or static image. You are also a spell caster, but more importantly for this build, you're a half caster. Each day you can prepare a total number of spells equal to your intelligence modifier and half your artificer level. You start off with 2 cantrips and 4 spells thanks to your intelligence. 4 spells, Mage Hand lets you Jedi mind powers and lift objects no more than 10 pounds by creating a spectral hand. If you want it to be invisible, you need the telekinetic feat or arcane trickster subclass, unless your DM's okay with it being invisible. With this spectral hand, you can perform simple actions, nothing crazy like wielding a weapon. Light imbues an object you touch no more than 10 feet in any dimension with light, shedding outwards in a 20-foot radius. Cure Wounds heals 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier. Long Strider adds 10 feet to your movement for 1 hour. Featherfall stops all fall damage on up to 8 creatures no matter the height. Identify lets you know all information on magical objects. Time to jump classes. Heading over to Bard, you gain a new skill. Grab Sleight of Hand. Level 1 Bards gained Bardic Inspiration. As a bonus action, you can grant special inspiration dice to someone who can hear you that can be used up to 10 minutes after receiving it, on a skill check, saving throw, or attack. You can do this a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, and these dice start off as a d6. You're also a spellcaster, and a full spellcaster at that. Head on over to the Player's Handbook, page 164, to learn how many spell slots you will receive for combining these two. This is where half-caster and caster can kind of mess you up a bit. Also remember, Artificer and Bard will use different spellcasting modifiers, so using Bard spells can't be used with your intelligence modifier, which will be better. Unlike Artificer, you will actually be told how many spells you know at each level. At level 1, you get 2 cantrips and 4 spells. For your spells, Friends lets you Jedi mind trick someone into being friendly with you should they fail a charisma check for 1 minute while you maintain concentration. Mending lets you repair an object you touch. Sleep lets you Vulcan nerve pinch people. Rolling 5d8, adding them together, you now have a pool of HP. As you target a creature, you remove from the pool till they hit 0 and fall asleep. You continue to do this until you have nothing left in the pool. By adding spell levels, you add 2d8s per level. Charm Person is even stronger Jedi mind trick. Failing a wisdom save, they are now charmed by you for 1 hour, and this is not a concentration spell. Tasha's Hideous Laughter makes you a comedian. Okay, this is more Kevin Smith than Silent Bob, but go with it, the character's funny too. Targeting a creature within 30 feet of you, you force a wisdom save. On a failure, they start laughing uncontrollably and fall prone, becoming incapacitated. At the end of each of its turns, or when it takes damage, it can try to make the save again. Silvery Bards lets you, as a reaction, distract a creature within 60 feet of you that has succeeded on an attack roll, skill check, or saving throw. They must now re-roll the d20 and use the lowest result. You can then choose a different creature and grant them advantage for 1 minute on the next attack roll, skill check, or saving throw. Only one creature can be empowered with the second effect at a time, so use this one on Jay to help rescue his kid or give him advantage on his sneak attack. Level 2 Artificers can now infuse items. This lets you transform non-magical items into magical counterparts. Now when infusing items, you have more infusions known than you can actually use, so I'm only going to tell you the ones you need. You're going to start with 4, but can only use 2 right now. Enhanced Defense adds +1 to armor or shield. Enhanced Weapon adds +1 to a weapon's attack and damage. Replicate Magic Item can recreate any common magic item or non-common magic item from an appropriate level chart. We're going to take this twice and grab Goggles of Night and Bag of Holding. Remember, while you need all 4, you can only have 2 of these up at a time. Level 3 Artificers gain Right Tool for the job. You can now magically create 1 tool. It takes an hour to do so do this over rest or downtime. You also gain your subclass. Sadly, there is no Grower or Herbalist subclass, but Alchemist works pretty well. You gain proficiency in Alchemist tools. Experimental Elixir lets you create a magical elixir when you finish a long rest. You need Alchemist supplies to do this, and you roll a d6 to determine what elixir you make. Each elixir has a different effect, ranging from healing, increasing speed, flight, increasing AC, adding a d4 to attack rolls, or gaining the effects of Alter Self. You also gain Alchemist spells. These are spells that you will always have ready and don't count towards your total number of spells. Healing Words blesses those who have actually heard you with 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier in healing. Ray of Sickness lets you spray people in the face with air freshener. Yeah, I know that was a demon, but let's face it, spraying anyone in the face with this stuff will mess them up. Making a ranged spell attack, you cause 2d8 poison damage and force a con save. Should they fail, they are now poisoned till the end of your next turn. Level 4 Artificers gain our first ability score improvement. Place this into intelligence for better spell attack and DC. For spells, Alarm sets up a zone that should anyone enter that you have not chosen, this will alert you to it. Jump triples your jump distance for 1 minute. Level 2 Bards are Jack of all trades. You now add half your proficiency bonus to all skills that you are not proficient in. Song of Rest lets you improve short rests. Now while you take a short rest, anyone that can hear you gets to add 1d6 to their hit dice when regaining health. Magical Inspiration lets others use your Bardic Inspiration to be added to spells that heal or damage. For your new spell, Color Spray blinds creatures within a 150-foot cone. Rolling 6d10, you create a pole similar to sleep. As you move through the creatures in the cone, you subtract from the pole. As a creature hits 0, they are blinded until the end of your next turn. Level 3 Bards gain Expertise, doubling proficiencies for 2 skills. Let's take Perception and Sleight of Hand. You also get your subclass. Since your words can do so much, we're going with Eloquence. Silver Tongue makes your Deception or Persuasion rolls never lower than a 10. Unsettling Words turns your Bardic Inspiration dice into a debuff for your enemies. You can now roll a Bardic Inspiration dice, subtract the total from their next saving throw. For your new spell, Silence creates a 20-foot radius sphere of pure silence. Nothing can be heard inside, everyone within is immune to thunder damage, and spells that require words can't be cast. Level 5 Alchemist Artificers receive Alchemaic Savant. Now when you cast a spell using your alchemist supplies that heal or deal acid, fire, necrotic, or poison damage, you deal bonus damage equal to your intelligence modifier. For your new alchemist spells, Flaming Sphere creates a 5-foot diameter sphere within 60 feet that you can move with a bonus action. Should a creature end its turn within 5 feet, they must make a dex save or take 2d6 fire damage. Melf's Acid Arrow fires an acid at a target, causing 4d4 acid damage on a hit and 2d4 acid damage at the end of its next turn. Even if you miss, it still takes half of the 4d4 damage, but not the 2d4 damage. Level 6 Artificers gain Tool Expertise. Now any tool you're proficient with is double proficiency bonus. By the way, you can now have 3 infusions active. You can also now create 2 experimental elixirs at the end of a long rest. For your new spell, Magic Weapon lets you turn a non-magical weapon into a magical weapon, adding +1 to the attack and damage for 1 hour as a bonus action. Level 7 Artificers receive Flash of Genius. Now you can use your reaction to improve a skill check or saving throw that you or someone else makes, as long as they are within 30 feet of you, adding your intelligence modifier. You can do this a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier between long rests. Level 8 Artificers gain another ability score improvement. Cap off intelligence for a +5 to everything that uses it, which at this point is a lot. For your new spells, Web lets you trap someone in webbing. Tell me I'm not the only person who believes Silent Bob can make a web shooter. Until Kevin Smith says so, Silent Bob has a web shooter. You create a 20-foot cube within 60 feet. Failing a dex save, any creature that is in the cube or enters the cube becomes restrained. It can only free itself by using an action to make a strength check against your spell DC, which at this point is 17. Aid lets you boost the maximum HP of 3 allies by 5 for 8 hours. You can add spell levels to add 5 for each level. Level 4 Bards receive another ability score improvement. You're getting yourself into better shape and it's time to be snack pack. Let's boost your con up. For your new spells, Vicious Mockery lets you insult someone so bad it hurts. Should they fail a wisdom save, they take 3d4 psychic damage. Calm Emotions creates a 20-foot radius sphere. Every creature within the sphere must make a charisma save or become indifferent to any creature they are hostile towards, like Jay. You can also instead decide to end an effect that is charming or frightening them. Level 9 Alchemist Artificers gain Restorative Regents. Now, when someone drinks your elixirs, they gain 2d6 plus your intelligence modifier in temporary hit points. You can now also cast Lesser Restoration without a spell slot, a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. Lesser Restoration lets you touch one creature and end one disease or condition effect, such as blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poison. For your new alchemist spells, Mass Healing Word is an amped up healing word that can heal up to 6 creatures, 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier. Not as good as Cure Wounds, but it's ranged, so it's not too bad. Gaseous Form lets you turn someone into a cloud of mist. Yeah, it doesn't work for Silent Bob, but we're stuck with it. Guess you can turn Jay into a cloud and get him into places, so that's cool. Level 10 Artificers are Magic Item Adepts. You can now attune to 4 magic items at once and can craft common and magical items quicker and cheaper. You also now have all 4 infusions active, and you know 8 infusions, so if you want, grab a few others. 2 of your infusions are also now upgraded. Both Enhanced Weapon and Enhanced Defense now grant +2 to their effects. For your new spells, Thorn Whip fires your bat grappling hook at a target within 30 feet, causing 3d6 piercing damage and pulling the target up to 10 feet towards you. Create Food and Water lets you magically create food because Jay isn't vegan and he eats a lot of fast food, so this will help you out by finding you something. With this spell, you can create enough food to feed up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds. The food will spoil within 24 hours, but the water doesn't go bad. Level 11 Artificers can now create a spell storing item. This lets you store a spell within a weapon or a spellcasting focus, and give it to someone else. The spell can be any Artificer spell of 1st or 2nd level, and the person who holds it is casting it. Level 12 Artificers receive our final ability score improvement. Let's hit Con again for more health and better concentration saves. For your new spell, Dispel Magic lets you end magical effects of 3rd level or lower. If it is higher than 3rd level, you must make a check against it to end it. Level 13 Artificers gain our final Alchemist spells. Blight unleashes a wave of necrotic energy on a target within 30 feet, forcing a con save and dealing 8d8 necrotic damage on a failure. Death Ward lets you protect Jay a little bit better. After touching someone with this spell, should they drop to 0 hit points within 8 hours, they will instead drop to 1 HP. This even works against magic that instant kills a target. By the way, you're now character level 17. Thorn Whip is now 4d6 piercing damage, and Vicious Mockery is now 4d4 psychic damage. Level 14 Artificers are magic item savants. You can now attune up to 5 magic items to yourself and can ignore requirements on magic items. You also now get the last infusion you need. Take Replicate magic item again and get Cloak of the Bat. Why this one? Because I love Mallrats. If you don't know what this item does, you now have advantage on stealth checks, and in dim light or darkness you can spread the cloak to become wings and gain a flying speed of 40 feet. For your last normal Artificer spells, Spare the Dying stops one creature from dying, stabilizing them and stopping death saves. Freedom of Movement enhances the movement of one creature you touch, and this includes yourself. For the next hour, they can spend 5 feet of movement to free themselves from non-magical restraints, and difficult terrain doesn't slow them down. Level 5 Bards have their Bardic Inspirations improved to a D8. Font of Inspiration replenishes your Bardic Inspiration dice on a short or long rest. For your last Bard spell, Motivational Speech inspires up to 5 creatures who can hear you. They are granted 5 temporary HP, advantages on Wisdom saves, and if they are attacked, they have advantage on their next attack. This spell only lasts as long as they have the temporary HP. Our final level is level 15 Artificer, and Alchemists gain Chemical Mastery. You now have resistance to acid and poison damage, you are immune to poison, you can also cast Greater Restoration and heal without spell slots once per long rest. Greater Restoration can reduce exhaustion level by 1, and 1 effect that charmed or petrified a target, and 1 curse including from magical items, and an effect reducing target's max HP, or end the effect that is reducing an ability score. Heal automatically heals 7 HP, ends blindness, deafness, and any disease. Finally, you can now create 3 experimental elixirs after a long rest. Time to dive in and look at this build. What would Jay do without you? You can not only heal multiple ways, but you can improve healing capabilities. You can also buff your party's capabilities with several abilities and debuff your enemies. With Jay dealing no magical damage, you can now grant him magical weapons to help him kick ass. You also have serious versatility with your spells, capable of buffing yourself, trapping foes, calming emotions, granting temporary HP, creating food, and putting people to sleep. Finally, you have damn good health for a spellcaster at around 160. Downside, you are not passing any dex or strength saves. Seriously, you will fall on your ass a lot. You also don't have much magical damage either. With only 6 combat spells, you'll probably want to save spell slots for buffs and healings, so that takes it down to 2 that will cause damage. Finally, your Bardic Inspirations are limited, with only 3 uses. Thankfully, you can give these to other people and not have to rely on them yourself, as most of your abilities are magical. Keep the party up and fighting, and keep Jay out of trouble. These 2 builds really complete each other. Silent Bob can bump Jay's movement up to 50 feet and make it so he doesn't have difficulties moving through terrain. He can also give Jay a magical weapon to beat resistances and distract targets to help Jay get more damage. With Silent Bob providing the skills and tools, Jay kicking ass, these 2 are unstoppable. And there you have it. If combining classes that are drastically different, such as Bard and Artificer, interest you, check out my Achievement Hunter playlist, where I take members of the popular gaming group Achievement Hunter and create interesting multi-classes to bring them into D&D. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell.